Hey Tuskegee, welcome to another episode of Black Consciousness Today. In studio we have Miss Lenora Goode and as usual Mr. Arthur Powell. Ms. Goode, take it away.
Good afternoon everyone, or good day everyone. Today we're going to do a little something a little bit different. Okay, today we're going to get a chance, an opportunity to interview Mr. Powell and what brings him here and what caused him to, decide that, what made him want to do this program, and why did you call it Black Consciousness to begin with?
Well, I called it Black Consciousness Today from years ago when Steve Biko, back in 1977 in South Africa, he started the Black Conscious movement. But his life was short-lived due to South African police. So the spirit of Black Consciousness never really took root. But it did have some effect with the Zulu and these two tribes, the Hutus and Zulu, I'm not sure. But because of his effort, it laid the groundwork for them to communicate, and they found out that all the problems that they had were being white folks' influence. They were paying different tribes to fight against them, or hiring gangsters, I'll use that term, to do the dirty work. Then the two tribes would be blaming each other. So after they had a chance to do a little critical thinking, analyze the situation, they discovered that the whites were behind it. So that brought a little bit of peace between them. They began to communicate. Now that made a small change, okay? But had he not suffered the consequences, maybe over the period of time, because once he left, no one took up the cause. Just like Martin. When Martin left, we invested everything in one person. So when Martin left, there was no one to pick up the banner. So I say Black consciousness, the spirit, the power within the African American Black family. It's about the family, not a particular one. So if I die, well, I'm looking for Brother Coleman, but he got called away. So I'm looking at Brother Patrick, and I'm looking at you. But it's about the family, not about an individual. Individuals pass away, but families continue on.
Wow, that really, you said a lot right there, and that does make sense. Actually, it kind of answered a lot of questions that I had, and the reason why you chose that topic of Black consciousness, and the fact that you have tribes and different people, like we have cliques. We have a lot of misinformation, a lot of miscommunication, a lot of individualism, a lot of separateness going on here in town,
Right.
for example, or amongst ourselves as a race, even on a global sense, and that we need to learn how to talk to each other and communicate better.
Yes, we need to pause. Say, we're renewing our hearts and minds, realizing our commonality. Hey, throughout the African American family diaspora, we all have basically the same problem.
Okay.
We suffer some of the same consequences. And some of the evils that we're accusing other people imposing on us, we are imposing them on ourselves. Consciously or unconsciously, it is happening. So those things, when I say let's sit at the table and critical thinking, analyze our internal, okay? We begin to discover our own weakness, how we mentally enslave ourselves to the system.
Okay. What kind of background did you come from? Your upbringing.
As far as I know, I was born in Chihon. So, walk around with no shoes and cow pasture and all that good stuff.
Was your mom and dad there? Or?
Yeah, they were all there,
So,
that's my.
So your dad was a farmer, is what you're saying?
Yeah, he's a farmer.
And
He's
mom?
a working man.
what?
He farmed, but I just say he was a working man.
Okay, and your mom?
Mom, she was basically a housewife, but she worked in the fields too.
And how many siblings did you have?
There was 6 of us,
Okay, how many boys and girls?
3 and 3.
3 and 3. Who's the oldest? Where did you fit in?
Oh, I came in almost to the middle. Because 3 males and 3 girls. So I was number 3. No, I wasn't. I was number 4.
Number 4. Okay.
I was number 4. After my 2 younger sisters passed away, my older sister, my 2 older brothers are still around.
And how long were your parents married? altogether?
Forever.
Remember?
Forever.
Forever?
My mom passed in '84. Daddy passed in '97.
So they were about, so in other words, your background was coming from really a stable family. It wasn't any divorce in the family. You know, mom and dad stayed together from back in the day and they raised their children and that. And that's why you care so much like you do about children and the fact of everybody being together, kind of like my family. Okay, my background is similar.
All
you know,
our
it's-
families have
Yeah.
their own difficulties, whether we talk about it
Yeah.
or whether we realize them or not. But I find that we can have a forums so we don't personalize everything, but we have a conversation, but the conversation has a focus. Each one of us discover something about ourselves. We don't have to throw out our dirty linen, but what I'm saying, through conversation, sometimes it raises your conscious level. Say, for instance, when I go to Bible study, people always asking questions, why did those people where why were they doing what they were doing? So my point is history. I was a history book. It's something that we should learn from. So if we're truly trying to learn, we wouldn't be asking the question why they were doing back then what they were doing. We would be asking the question, why am I doing today what they're doing? See, that's the lesson. The power that we have in our American black family is well rooted, but it's diverse because of mind control, mind manipulation by the system. So we need to realize those things. And when we say late syndromes keep us in the situation, I mean, you know, if we have the intelligence to recognize that, why do we not have the intelligence to change that?
Now let me get back to me asking the questions here, okay? And I want to know a little bit more about you, okay? Were you ever married?
See, I count those things, yes, but I count those things incidentally. See, here's the problem. We're going to personalize everything. I'm
No.
talking about, oh no.
This gives us a
Oh, no.
little bit of background on what
It doesn't
developed
matter.
your thoughts about
Let me
family.
explain that.
Okay.
My thoughts about family, because I'm a part of a great big family. I see the problems on a broad scale. I also see them on a personal level, okay? So also, some of the problems that we have, you cannot overcome them individually. So we have to look beyond self sometimes and unify our hearts and minds, our thoughts.
Well,
As I say, through that, personal improvement can come forth.
All right. The reason why I'm asking that is because nowadays a lot of people are not transparent, okay? And they're not willing to talk about they're not willing to give their testimony about their lives. Sometimes people don't trust folks because they, you know, right now you can just about ask me anything about myself and I'm not ashamed about my life journey. Everybody has a life journey. You know, people can learn from divorces. They can learn from
Personal experience.
right. People can learn from having an abortion. People can learn from breaking up from an engagement. People can learn from physical and medical issues as well. I mean, we're all human, okay? And so to share that about yourself, it does help people understand what your mission is. So let's talk about this.
No, I want to get back to that. I'm not sure about that. When you start telling people about your personal thing, your personal thing becomes the focus. So we want to disavow that when I say coming to the table, we have a focus on a particular. I don't care what you did yesterday or what your background is, it's what's in your heart and mind regarding to uplifting the family. So when you personalize it, like everybody personalized King, he's the man. All the power lies with King. See what I'm saying? But the power doesn't align with an individual. We all have problems that we have to overcome. So from those experiences are overcoming, that's what's important. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need to focus on, because everyone's going to focus on what you did when you were in the third grade. I got guys not talking about this boy took his girl. You know what I mean? So I understand what you're saying, because sometimes it is good, but I just find that too often it comes down about the individual. So my concept is about the family, which includes the father.
Okay. Now, since you said that, okay, and you're talking about history, things that are in the past, then why do we, as a black race or people, depend so much on history? Because if, the history that is what it's called, his story. That is something about somebody's past. So why are we still talking about people like Booker T. Washington, what he did, and George Washington Carver, what he did? Are we focusing too much on history? Because of what you just said right now, that we shouldn't be talking about somebody's past and that.
Let's start with Booker and George. Booker and George did some great things. Their name is still prominent. What they did is still prominent.
Okay.
Now, when we talk about the history, what they did here in Tuskegee, right?
Right.
What the hell have we built on it? What have we built?
That's what I'm talking
What
about.
have we built?
This is the point
So
I'm trying to
my
make.
point is, you're supposed to learn from
From the
history.
history.
If
That's
you
right.
learn from it, then you begin to do things. What did Bison say? In all things purely social, we can be separate as the fingers. And in all things mutual, for the common good, I may not make it just right, be one as a hand, fist. That's together.
Now I know that you do the fist thing, okay? We're talking about history.
That's history.
What
See, that comes from
developed you?
history.
What developed you? You know, rumor has it that you used to do the fist thing, and you got your beret and that kind of stuff. And we want to understand, you know, your passion and why you came up with the title Black Consciousness. Because and that knowing a little bit about your history can, you know, allows us to be able to understand, you know, what it is that you're trying to say and what your mission is and what you're all about. And we know that you're all about the family. Okay, and you explain that in the fact that your family was a tight family and that everybody sat around the table and talked, I'm sure, you know, when they came out of the field and they got washed up and got ready for dinner every night and everybody went to bed. Maybe your parents even, you know, read the Bible together or read you some kind of stories together as a family. Some families did, some families might not have.
Okay.
And because of that is the reason why I'm asking you these questions about your history. You know, what makes up Mr. Powell? Why is Mr. Powell so passionate about the family?
I think you understand what I'm saying. These are the things when we come to the table, we need to leave out outdoors, okay? Like I say, you begin to focus on the individual, okay? Now, as I said, all families have problems. My family had problems too. That I heard, I don't know it from
Now we're talking about the positive side now. We're talking
No,
about
no,
all the
no, no.
positive,
I
all
said-
the great stuff.
I said, all problems have families. There's a positive and a negative.
All families have problems.
So my
yes.
family had problems. They weren't a perfect family,
Right.
okay? No, me and my brother and sister, we were all brother and sister, you know, in the family. No, it was like a whole lot of other. Like I tell you, I walked around the back because we didn't have no shoes. You know, we used to take a piece of string and tie our pants up so it wouldn't be hanging all down like white folks. You know, we were applying the mule. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's a common thing. But my point still go back to this. If we can put all this stuff aside about the individual and become a family from the family concept, we deal with all the personal issues just by having conversations sometimes, not focusing on Patrick. Okay?
Don't you think that you need to understand someone and what their walk is when you're talking about, when you're saying something like is personal, and you know, don't you want to know who's on your team? For all you know, you might have a mass killer or a rapist on that team. Don't you want to kind of know a little bit about that person, and not only because of the negative necessarily, but what their skill sets are, what they have to bring to the table, as you say. What kind of gifts do they have, or what kind of anointings, you know, if you want to speak on that level, that they have to bring to make that team work. I mean, if you don't know what a person can bring to the table, then you won't know how to, you know, make that team work or how to reach that goal together as a team. I mean, some people might be good at passing the ball. Some people might be good at swinging the bat.
Yeah.
Some people might be good at, you know, just passing out popcorn and sodas. So you have to know what their personal.
Let me case, you go to church every Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Preacher gets up and preaches. Do you always understand what he's talking about? Do you always feel the spirit, not the preacher? Do you always feel that spirit on Sunday morning?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay, not necessarily. So this is what I'm saying. A lot of times to me, it don't matter where the person been or what the person think he is or may be. I want to have a conversation, okay? And that person gonna speak to me. If I don't like what he's speaking, I'm still gonna have a conversation with him. Because people can make changes. I have met people. I don't like that guy. Don't even know him.
Right.
So come to me one day. Why don't you like that person? You don't even know the person.
Right.
So I started making a habit. Anytime that little spirit, you know, eeriness come on you, I'm going to speak to that person. I'm going to have a few words with them. Okay, through that, at least you relate to them. Other person, you should have respected it. And sometimes you have good, pleasant conversation. They can be very beneficial to you. But at the end of the conversation, the Spirit says, don't get too close. So it's what's in people's hearts and minds. See, this is what we don't deal with. We don't deal with hearts and minds. We just want to know what comes out the lip. People will present themselves. Give them the opportunity. Truth gonna come out. Okay? It ain't all about the pastor. When I say changing hearts and changing mind, huh? Give that young lady a chance. Give her a chance. Talk to her. Yeah, let her sit at the table. Either she's gonna come in or she's gonna stay out. So it's about individuals searching themselves and coming together in collective manner, regardless of the past, so to speak. But you want to have a focus. You can focus on that same thing. Those hearts and minds begin to gel together. That's what I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? I know people say a whole bunch of things about me. I said, well, whoever told you that, you go back and find out, ask them whether it's true or not. And I believe it alone.
Well, that's good to hear that. So in other words, you're telling me that, that for example, because I notice that you sometimes refer to white folks or other races, for example, okay? So since we're not judging people in that, so I'm gonna bring these some white people in, and we're gonna have them sit at the table, and we're gonna accept them.
I've been trying.
Okay, so
to
you're willing to diversify and allow that to
yeah.
happen, because here in Macon County and Tuskegee, I noticed
Wait,
they're
since
kind
you
of
was white
resistant a
folk,
little bit
let me
to
explain
that.
something here. Let me explain something, since you meant white. See, slavery would never have ended without some good white folks being involved.
That's right.
Martin would never have been able to do what he did without some good white folks being involved. And Booker Dunn sure wouldn't have been about 100-acre land without some white folks, because he was banned from white folks. So there are some white folks who can be beneficial. But I'm saying within ourselves, within our family, we take care of our own flaws. Then we have the power to stand against the rulers of the darkness of this world, because a whole lot of them look just like us, and they're right here in Tuskegee. But we don't deal with them. We give them our power because they keep us stratified, just like Trump said on crazy thing. We fall into the game. So if you come to the table with the focus, are we going to uplift our family? We're going to do whatever we can within our power to reach our young people, to give them a new direction so they can write a new history as they go forward. Based on not Booker and George, based on our efforts today, going forward.
Right.
And their ability to see the power they have within the family, what they can do together, how they can stand up for the family. Every individual will be included. Those who don't come, it will be their own flaw. But the family is going to go forward, and we're going to be reaching back to pull them up. That's family. And if one dies, no, the family still keeps going, because the hearts and the minds have one set principle. Okay? I don't care whose church you go to, what Sunday morning you go to, some of them preachers get up there, they'll start with one scripture. When they get to the end of the sermon, they wonder, what the heck was he talking about? Because the Spirit ain't there, and God ain't there.
That's
You
right.
want to deal with truth?
Yeah, that's
All right.
right. And people have to be able to stand up and not be condemned or, put down because they do speak the truth or willing to speak the truth, And that's what you're speaking on. All right, your background, as far as education-wise and that, let's say, for example, you were mainly here in Tuskegee.
Yeah.
Did you go to school here?
Went to T.O. Elementary School, and after 6th grade, me and school was finished.
Okay, so sometimes they say that people that have life experience have more wisdom. Okay, it sounds like you do, than people that have a piece of paper.
I'm glad
Because what good is a piece of paper without common sense, street sense?
Well, that's why you go to school, so you can get brainwashed. They teach you to think like the system wants you to think.
Now, we don't want to advocate kids dropping down in
So
6th grade
I'm not
right now,
advocating
and
that.
listening to this
I'm
program.
not coming to show you.
You know?
When I went to school, after 5th grade, 6th grade, I mean, school didn't have nothing in common.
But that was back then, because that
I'm
was
saying
kinda-
back then, so I can understand some of the
yeah,
frustration that
definitely.
young people go through today based on some of the teachers. You do have some good teachers.
Yeah,
But I'm just showing you a case in point. At that point in my life, which is happening to some children's life today, one teacher can devastate a child's life for the rest of his life.
that's right.
So it is today. That's all I'm trying to say. Now, they never took us. I don't know anybody went down to George Western Museum, and the high school was just up on the hill. I don't know anybody that the class took from the school down there. Okay, besides the point, it was against the law to teach black history back that time. But my point is, I didn't know. I was 40 years old when I found out about the Tuskegee Avenue. I think I told the story before. We ran across the field. We had parties in the hangar. So we missed a lot. Now, it might have been against the law, but I always say probably there's some way that message could have got through to us, although we're out in the farm, you know. We don't count right. You know, Chee-Haw. People have some people, if you go through history, you find some people in Chee-Haw made some great contributions, but nobody mentions them, you know. But that's all right. So I try to say things, because I didn't read books when I was in school, because you only had Paul and Stonewall and Phyllis Sweet. And they told me they didn't use proper English. So what the heck you want to read about that? Everything else was white folks. George Washington never told a lie. Come on, you think I'm supposed to believe that crap? And Abraham Lincoln set the black folks free? I'm supposed to believe that? When I'm looking at reality? Huh? What's that thing y'all put your heart over and say? Beautiful words.
You
Beautiful
pledge
word.
allegiance, don't you?
What?
You don't pledge allegiance.
That's not no place to what?
To what?
What's that thing have to do with my great-great-great-great-great-granddaddy? He didn't have no parts of it. Okay? So, in every war that America's had, our people have died fighting for a country that didn't even want them to fight for, but they needed them. Okay? And that's all the way through. So, you know, the flag, what does the flag mean to me? It's just something flies in the wind, like that other flag. What's that other flag that everybody don't want to see flying? You know, they're both
Confederate flag.
flags.
Confederate
you know.
flag, yeah.
I mean, they both persecuted our forebears. So what the heck is the difference? So our power lies within us, realizing the truth, accepting what has happened in the past. I think I said before, many of our people who were enslaved, they died trying to find freedom, whether they actually knew what freedom was or not. What? Vernon Jones. You know who Vernon Jones is? Oh, he was at Dexter Avenue before Martin. And he said, Daddy told him, Vernon, you see a good fight? Get in. So we got a good fight to fight. That's psychological fight. Psychological warfare. So we can take control of our own hearts and minds. It's all based on a lot of psychological. We are still under influence of mind control. We follow all these measures. You know what I'm saying? You go on that internet, you find a whole bunch of stuff out there. And people come to me thinking I'm supposed to believe all this stuff. It may be true, you know what I'm saying? But when I got too many people out there with different versions of the same thing, I just walk a step back.
Too much fake news.
I don't know whether it's fake or not.
It is fake news.
Okay, but
There's
I
a
have
lot of
nothing-
fake news.
I have nothing to base it on.
Yes.
But when
Yeah.
we sit at the table, we don't deal with fake hope. We deal with hearts and mind. We speak what's in our hearts and our mind. We realize our commonality, okay? Which we should do anyway, because we all suffer the same consequence on the same system. I don't care how much money you got. Go ask Bill Cosby, he'll tell you. All right? When he was up and doing well, he made a point after his son died, he's just a black man. But he got money, he can basically anything else he can do. But take away his money, he's just another black man. You know what I'm saying? So, but the family as a whole, what, you gonna kill us at all? That's another thing Vernon's got, that phrase that Martin got about If a man not willing to die for something, he ain't fit to live.
They just wouldn't fall for anything.
No, he ain't willing. If he ain't willing, if he ain't willing to die for something, you know. Well, Ronnie Jones brought that issue up before. When he came here, he said, "Why are you people going on the bus, give you money, then come around back?" And he said, "But you shouldn't ride those buses. They want some money. Why should you go to that movie and you gotta go to the back door, whatever door? Why should you go spend your money with them? They take your money, but they won't touch your hand." So he starts sending some veterans in front of the church. And old people from Alabama State, you know, the elite, they thought that was I forget the word they used, but it was unacceptable. I used that word. They didn't think it should be, the pastor should be out in front of the church. And he said, "Well, wait a minute. Take our money to them, or we spend our money with ourselves." And Alvin didn't have to catch on to it. I think he had some stocking culture story. The people weren't buying something that's given me. I'll take them over to my congregation. We'll get rid of it. You know, but something cut off. See? So what he was doing, he was planting a seed. So when Martin got there, the people were more prepared, because the court at Alabama State got killed defending somebody that was being beat to death, which he wouldn't do before. So it brought about a consciousness, right? So that all I'm saying today, we as a family, the power lies within the family. Understanding only comes when we can sit at the table, do critical analytical thinking, and focus into the future to change America, make it a better place for all people to live. We have the power.
Yeah. So you
And-
raise your fist.
And as we reach the end of another episode of Black Consciousness Today, I would like to invite all of our viewers to utilize that email that's on your screen. Send us some feedback, and we will check you out on another episode of Black Consciousness next week.